सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः भाष्य. Yes. So we started the 7th Anuvaka of the Brahmanandavalli. Asadbha idamagra asit tato vai sadajayata tadatmanagasvayamakuruta tasmat tatsukrutamujyata iti yadvai tatsukrutam raso vai saha रसगृह्येवायं लब्ध्वा नन्दी भवति को ह्येवान्यात् कः प्राण्यात् यदेष आकाश आनन्दो न स्यात् एष ह्येवानन्दयाति यदा ह्येवैष एतस्मिन् दृश्ये आत्म्ये निरुक्ते निलयने अभयं प्रतिष्ठां विन्दते अथ सोऽभयं गतो भवति यदा ह्येवैष एतस्मिन् उदरमन्तरं कुरुते अथ तस्य भयं भवति तत्त्वेवं भयं विदुषो मन्वानस्य तदप्येष श्लोको भवति. We saw the general meaning of it last time. We have to look into the Bhashya. And what was the general meaning? The general meaning was, just to revise, talking about Asad Vai Idam Agre Asit. Idam Agre, when you encounter the words Idam Agre. Idam means Jagat. Tat means Brahma. Idam Jagat Agre means Srishtehe Prak. Before this manifestation came into being, what was there? What was there? Asat. Now this is a shock. अब तक क्या सुना है? सत 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 ब्रह्म. Everything is Sat. अभी अचानक, all of a sudden, Asat. Asat means non-existent. But here it is clarified. It is not non-existent. We saw it is other than that which is Vyakritam. Vyakritam, manifest. Avyakritam, unmanifest. Whole creation is like that. Manifest, demanifest. Manifest, demanifest. And all that is there is one single consciousness that is in the form of the manifester, and then the manifest, manifested, and then demanifest. All that is in the form of a single, non-dual, all-round consciousness. That's the only thing there is. So this is the source of happiness. This is what? Because all that is there is one consciousness, and if you have to go somewhere else for happiness, then that consciousness will be what? Limited. So the same consciousness is the source of happiness. The same consciousness is the source of sentiency. The same consciousness is the source of existence. And to put it in Sanskrit, Sat Chit Ananda. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Sat Chit Ananda aa jata hai. So here this section is important because what happens is that we start taking things for granted. Especially in the middle of this, towards the end of the Anuvaka, what happens is start going like this. Not sleeping, awake, but yeah, Satchidananda, okay. ये कहीं सुना हुआ लगता है. I have heard this. I understand this. Okay, I can zone out. I don't have to pay attention. Why? Because some other things I can think of. I have sat in the plane in my own mind and gone off somewhere. gone back to my place. And then I'm just dreaming. So there's a kind of a, what's that? A plateau, flatlining bolte hain, meaning I only understand this much, and after that there is no effort made. And the effort is not made because the ahankara is lazy fellow. Ahankara is very, very lazy. And so it doesn't want to go deeper. It's lazy, but it is also afraid of becoming killed in the process. It's not going to be killed. It is going to be shown that you are Brahman, you are everything. It doesn't know that. Like the Maharaja of one small village in India, Raipur. He was very happy. He has his small little Raipur to rule over. Somebody woke him up one day. What did they tell him? You are the Maharaja of the whole of India. For a minute he was happy. Wow, fantastic. I'm Maharaja of whole of India. And then suddenly he had a doubt. Will I still be Maharaja of Raipur? This is exactly how the Ahankara is. I'm the ruler of this body, mind, sense complex. No, you're the ruler of the whole universe. Yay! Oh, but what about this body? I have to give it up. What about this mind? I have to give it up. It gets scared. And so, because it gets scared of decimation means being completely wiped away. No ahankara. What ahankara? Nothing. Go. And so therefore it's very scared. So what does it do? It goes into camouflage mode, like the soldiers in the battle. They wear all these leaves and everything so they hide from the enemy. And so the ahankara thinks the shastra is the enemy. Shastra is shatru. Yeah. Shastra is actually a shastra which is coming against me. That's what the ahankara thinks. And what does the ahankara do? It hides, it just pretends to know, yeah, Satchidananda, all cool, very nice, wonderful, I'm coasting along, I have learnt everything, और कुछ बाकी नहीं है, सब पढ़ लिया, everything I have studied, everything I have been there, done that, been there, done that. And for such a person in the middle, you just need some electric shock in the brain to wake up. Asadva idamagra asit. What? Up till now, sat. Suddenly what? Asat. That is the idea. The Upanishad has shock factor. And only because of shock, the shoka goes. Shoka means what? Sorrow. Yes. Shoka goes because of shoka. Okay? So, the Upanishad shocks you. This is just like a little brrr, it's like a very lazy buffalo in the road. And you go like this with a prong, it goes like this and stays in the same place. Then you come this side, it goes like this at the same place. So, unfortunately, some of the new owners, very savvy owners, they have a little stick which gives a little sad. But it's not very bad, it's just a small little current. And then it will say and slowly get up and go. This is exactly what this particular Anuvaka does for that complacent, lazy, sad and frightened Ahankara. And then, so let us look at the Bhashya, very nice. So, Asadva, we saw the meaning, so I hope you remember. But even if you don't remember, it will come again in the Bhashya. Okay, so not to worry. So then, what happens here? Asadva idamagre asit. So, tataha vai sat ajayata. So here it's explained. Asadva idamagre asit. Asat iti vyakrita nama rupa vishesha viparita rupam avyakritam brahma iti uchyate. So what is this asat? So you can't define anything negatively. Then the meaning is not clear if you define negatively. It's a negative word, asat. Nasat, asat. So if it is nasat, if it is not sat, then I have to know what is sat. Then I can say it's the opposite of this Sat. What is Sat? Vyakrita Namarupa Visheshaha. Vyakrita means manifest. Manifest Jagat full of what? Namarupa. Nama, name, Rupa, form. The whole Jagat is name and form, name and form, name and form. Your body also name and form. Your mind also name and form. Your sadness also name and form. Your fear also name and form. Your resistance also name and form. The whole thing is name and form, name and form, name and form. The whole Jagat. And this from Brahman, this so-called turning into name and form is what? Vyakaranam. Who is the author of Vyakaranam? Don't say Panini. Okay? That's not what is being here. The original Vyakaranam. Vyakaranam means the manifestation. Vyakaranam also means grammar. Because the grammar is also a manifestation. Panini did not create the language. Panini just codified the language. Very beautiful. So this Vyakaranam, this Vyakaranam is what? This is the opposite of that Vyakaranam is Avyakritam. Avyakritam Brahma Asad iti uchyate. Na punaha atyantameva asat. He is very clear to qualify this. It's not absolute absence. Like what? Shashavishana. What is Shashavishana? Horns of a rabbit. Horns of a rabbit. Where are they? Not there. So this is Atyantam Asat. Meaning it's absolutely not there. Like, can you please draw a square shaped circle? No. Absolutely not there. Now, if we have the Vaisheshikas and especially the Naiyayikas, their cousins, the Naiyayikas, they will say there are 4 kinds of absences. Even one kind of absence is hard to deal with. Here, these are our sparring partners. You know, we put on the boxing gloves and they become our, Purva Bhakshis, sparring partners. Because this is madness, but this is how they think. Absence means non-existence. Non-existence means what? Something doesn't exist. How can non-existence be of 4 types? How can you have types of non-existence when what we are talking of is non-existent? But the non-existence here is qualified into 4 types. Prag abhavaha. I'll explain what they are. Pradvamsa abhavaha, anyonya abhava, and then atyanta abhava. 4 types of abhava, non-existence. So one we already saw, like the horns of the rabbit. Atyanta abhava, absolute impossibility, absolutely non-existence. And then anyonya abhava, meaning it is a mutually non-existent. So if one thing exists, the other exists. So if the seed is there, then the tree is there. Seed is not there, then the tree is also not there. So both of them have anyonya abhava, mutual non-existence. Some kind of a codependence between karya and karana. That's what they mean. Then the other 2 are very interesting. So if we take a pot, ghata, so then they say, where was the ghata? We say it was all clay. What do you mean what it was? The nama and the rupa called ghata, the shape of the ghata was just a manifestation. Ghata was there as a possibility, as knowledge. That is what is jnanam means. Satyam, jnanam, anantam. That is the chit, that is knowledge. No. Nayayika will say no. Because there is no Ishvara there. So then they have to manufacture all these kinds of things. So they say the ghata was born, and before the ghata was born, the last prag abhavasya charama kshanaha. Charama means the last kshana, the last moment before the arising of the pot is a particular non-existence of the pot before it came up. If you are confused, it's a good sign. And then there is one more kind of non-existence, the non-existence of the pot non-existence of the pot after it is dropped. So I dropped the pot, and then what happened to pot? Crack pot. Okay, so it's gone. Pot gone, right? So the non-existence of the pot is pradvamsa abhavasya prathama kshanah. The first moment which is at the time of the destruction of the pot is a particular kind of absence. Now if you say what is the difference between each of these absences, I don't know if they'll be able to tell me, because they themselves are absent now. so therefore we don't need to go into this, but just to give you a little flavor of how the thinking is, how convoluted, how roundabout the thinking is. We want to bring food to the mouth. It's straight away you can go like this, but these people go feed themselves like this. Very roundabout way. So here it is, that's why Adi Shankara, bringing the word Atyanta Abhavaha na, does the Khandanam. Khandanam means what? Criticism of all the Nayayikas, and says this is not Atyanta Abhava. This is not at all absolute non-existence. Nahi Atyantameva Asat.
Yeah,
I have to put the mute button.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Mute yourself. Yeah, mute yourself. It's very easy. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, then what happens? Then what is the next thing he says? Nahi asatah sajjanma asti loke. In the world, do you see something being created out of non-existence? What came out of nothing? Nothing. Oh, but nothing came out of nothing, so nothing is born. But nothing is not a thing, so it cannot be born. So this is what he says. Nothing can be born out of nothing. So therefore, if the Upanishad says that this whole universe was born out of Asat, that Asat is not nothing. Idam iti namarupa vishesha avyakritam jagat. The idam means jagat. What is this jagat? This jagat which is unmanifest. Agre purvam prag utpattehe, before this whole creation came into being. Brahma eva asat shabdavajyam. So the meaning of the word asat is what? Ascertained as Brahman alone, nothing else. Brahman alone, it has been ascertained, verified. There is no need to look any further, Adi Shankara says. And then Tataha means from this asat, tataha asataha vai sat. And what is this sat? Sat ajayat, it says. So tataha asataha vai sat. What is this sat? Pravibhakta nama rupa vishesham ajayata utpannam. So avibhakta means apravibhakta, unmanifest. Out of that, pravibhakta, nicely manifest. Before there was, you can't say there was nothing. There was no specific thing other than Satchidanandam Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. No specific thing. Then from that no specific thing, which is all knowledge, which is Ishvara. Brahman here is Ishvara, because we are talking of the creative potential. So this Brahman, which is Ishvara, out of that manifest, out of that consciousness manifest everything. And that is called idam. Idam means this. Why it is called this? Because this chair, this table, this computer, this person, this room, it's all intimate. This body is close to me. The Jagat is very close to me. Even if I'm thinking about America, even if I've never gone there, this America I have got to see. This is how the person says. I want to go there. I want to see what it is like. But then as soon as Bhagavan comes into the picture, Ishvara, Brahman, that. Why? Not objectified. Not objectified. invisible, not visible through any of the pramanas, pratyaksha, anumana, nothing. And so therefore, we have relegated the word tat, that, remote. Whereas that is aparoksha, really. That is the one that is not remote. But in the mind of the ajnani, that is remote, and this is right here. But the Upanishad, in her compassion, in her daya, goes along with this understanding because she wants to reach us and teach us. And so then this is the Jagat Pravibhakta Namarupa. Kim tat Pravibhaktam Karyam iti. How did this come about? Pituhu iva putraha na ityaha. So how did this whole Pravibhakti come about? How does this whole manifestation come about? Just like the mother gives birth to a child? No. Father gives birth to a child? No. Why? Because when the birth of the child takes place, the parent and the child are separate individuals. There is a separation. The child may be dependent on the parents, but there is a separation. Wait till it gets 1 or 2 years old. All mine, me, different. It will tell, don't come near me, I want to do it all by myself. Like that. So there is a separation immediately upon birth. There is a separation. Until birth, the child is one with the mother in the womb. After that, separate. But here, even after the so-called birth of the universe, it is never away from Brahman. No separation. It is one with Ishvara. In fact, it is nothing but Ishvara. That's why you can never get away from Brahman. Forget saying how to understand Brahman. How to reach Brahman. Reach what? Try to get away from Brahman. Make that your meditation. I'll go far away. Far away is Brahman. I will climb over the mountains. Mountain is Brahman. Climbing is Brahman. I will hide in a cave. Cave is Brahman. Hider is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. You can't get away from Brahman. So it's not like the parents giving birth to a child. It's not like that at all. And then, then it says that tat asat shabdavachyam swayameva atmanam eva akurata kritavat yasmad evam tasmat tad brahmaiva sukrutam swayam kartru uchyate. So this is so there are two meanings here. Where are we now here in the text? This is where he was. Tasmat tad sukrutam uchyata iti tadatmanam tadatmanaggasvayam akuruta. So it's not like the mother giving birth to a child or the parents giving birth to children. It is atmanam akuruta. Made itself into the Jagat. Did not depend on any other source at all. When we create something in the universe, there is a dependency on some other source. Even the person who makes one cake, for the cake, so much headache, right? You have to get flour, you have to get sugar, you have to get butter, you have to get chocolate if it is chocolate cake. Then you have to get one mixie to mix it all up. Then you have to get oven to put it inside. And then you hope it comes out properly. And then by this time, you have gone to so many shops. You have depended on that. And to go to the shops, what do you need? Money. You're dependent upon cash. And for cash, what do? You have to go to the job to earn the money. And job means, again, dependency on the good favor of the boss. Because if the boss gives good report, then you will be in the job. Most of the jobs are like that. Few jobs, some people are lucky because they can work from home. They can be paroksha, remote work, sit at home and do. Everybody likes to do that. After pandemic, everybody is liking to work from home. The luckiest are the swamis. Really, they only do what they like. So, very, very lucky. But because they don't have duties. They don't have duties because they are not pursuing anything other than adhyayanam and adhyapanam, teaching and study. That's all they do. And to most people that may seem like a boring life, but the Swami is thrilled to be left alone. so here Brahman is like that in the sense is not like that in the sense of depending on series of factors to create. There is no karaka. Karaka means here the factors of action are not there from Brahman. Brahman is karta, kartru, doer, and then Jagat is done, karma. And what is the instrument? Instrument we have to bring in something else. Not like that. And for whose sake, and all these things, all the factors of action which are in English called cases are not there. Because of these cases, one is a basket case, really. Ultimately that's what happens. And so this is not there for Brahman. Swayam tasmat means because it is everything. Tasmat swayam akurata. Made itself into the Jagat. Oh, then Brahman died. No. As though Brahman is not dead. If Brahman is dead, nothing will be here. Brahman is not dead. How do you know Brahman is not dead? Did you check Brahman's pulse? No. I have to just know I am there. If I am there, then Brahman is there. You check your own pulse. Actually, it doesn't even depend on pulse. You just know you are there. That's enough. That means what? Brahman is there. That's all is needed. Nothing more is needed. And so, tadatmanam swayam akurata. Tasmat tat sukrutam uchyate iti. Sukrutam means well done. Because you try making something out of yourself, not possible. That's why well done. An orderly universe, full of wonderful laws. And even if the laws fall apart, there is an overarching law which allows the law to fall apart. It's really amazing. There is an order. And nothing goes out of the order, as we will see later. Bhishasmad vatah pavate bhishodeti suryah. The air, the wind, the sun, the moon, fire, water, all of them behave in accordance to this law. So Brahman is in the form of this wonderful law. And this Brahman alone that's why it is called Sukrutam iti uchyate. Well done. There is an intelligence behind this order. And that intelligence is all knowledge which drives this order, so to speak. So Brahman did not dissipate itself, disappear in the making of the Jagat, because the Jagat is mithya. Brahman projects the Jagat just like you project the dream. So because you had a dream, then you don't become very tired. Oh, let's say you made 100 chapatis in your dream. Some bhandara was there, so you had to make 100 chapatis. So you made 200 chapatis for all the sadhus in the dream. When you wake up, are your hands paining? No. Why? The dream is an effortless projection. Just like that for Ishvara, for Brahman, it's an effortless projection. You think it is there. That is how the Jagat is so effortless. So there is no kartrutvam there. That's why it is called Sukrutam, first meaning. First meaning itself stands actually, but then he gives also another meaning. Perhaps it's also there in the Shastra, so he gives it. But I feel from the Bhashya he favors the first meaning. Then he says, Tasmat swayam atmanam eva akuruta kritavat yasmadevam tasmat tad brahma sukrutam swayam kartru uchyate. Swayambhu, this is another name for Bhagavan. Swayam bhavati, swayambhuhu. Swayambhu means one that does not depend on anything for itself. So, Swayam Kartru Brahma iti prasiddham loke Why? Sarva karanatvat, because it is the cause of everything. Then he gives another meaning. Yasmad va swayam akarot sarvam sarvatmana tasmat punyarupenapi tadeva brahma karanam sukrutam uchyate. So second meaning is he takes the rudhi artha. First we had vyutpatti artha, the grammatical meaning. Swayam akuruta sukruta. From the swayam you take su and then the swayam akurta sukrutam, you say. So then that which was done, well done by itself. It manifests as the Jagat, this Brahman, this Ishvara manifests as the Jagat. That is one meaning of swayam akurta, swayam kartru, swayam bhu. This is Ishvara. And the Jagat is also what? Made by Ishvara, and so it is non-separate from Ishvara. That is one meaning. Second meaning, he takes the rudhi artha. This is the grammatical meaning. Second meaning, he takes the rudhi artha. Rudhi means the, what is that called? Daily customary meaning. Customary meaning of sukrutam. What is sukrutam? Punya. Sukrutam means punya. The result of good deeds is called sukrutam. Sukrutam, dushkrutam. How do we know? From other Upanishads. Ritam pibantau sukrutasya loke guham pravishtau parame parardhe chaya tapau brahmavido vadanti. This is in the Kathopanishad. There also the word sukrutam means punya. The people are punyaholics. They want their punya. They are addicted to punya. More. Where is my punya? Where is my punya? I want. Why are people interested in punya? Because it guarantees comfortable situations. Now and in the hereafter. Swarga is a result of what? Punya. Punya only. Because of punya only Swarga comes. Why you want to go there? Nobody knows. But people are, what should I say? Swargaholics. They want to go. Heavenholics. They want experiences here. Everybody is an experience hunter. Before coming into the ashram, many experiences I go after. I want to feel good, I want to jump, I want to do this, I want to go mountain climbing. Why? Last life I was a goat. Yeah, goat samskara is still there. that is why. Rock climbing. Why? And that other one, my favorite one, what is that? Bungee cord jumping. Yeah. Last life spider. That's yeah. Upar niche like this, up and down. That's all. All these things, all these thrilling sports. Some thrill must be there. I want to have this experience, I want to do that. This is all because there is a asantushti. There is no tripti here. There is a rank discontentment centered on the I, which one wants to compensate by going here, going there, doing this. Everything is an experience. Then the person comes to the ashram. Somehow by some sukritam, by some punya, the person ends up in the ashram. And there also this experience hunting does not stop. Now what the person wants? I want spiritual experience. I want to see God. We say, don't see God, be God. No, I want to see God. They will say openly, you want me to be sugar. I want to taste the sugar. Taste करने से क्या होता है? What will happen if you taste? Afterwards, what will happen? Finish. You'll get a little sugar high and then you'll come down. Dhadam, that's all. You'll come down and then, nothing will happen. Then you'll feel the craving again. But people don't understand this. Spiritual experience, I want to see blue light. I want to just sit in front of the computer, it's all blue light. Sit in front of your phone, it's all blue light. No, I want to see blue light inside. Swallow the phone, then you'll see blue light. I want to see blue light, I want to see yellow light. Arey, whatever you see is not Brahman, is not Bhagavan. No, I want to see this, I want to see that. And they will quote also. There is one Neela Bindu Upanishad, blue light Upanishad, yellow light Upanishad. All these things, it is not understanding it, quoting it out of context. and then also going to heaven, going to some various places, going to various lokas. This is all there. This is a yearning on part of the people, and this is fulfilled how? Through good karma alone. Now, what is the source of good karma? Quiz. Vedantic quiz.
Good actions.
Yeah, good actions, correct. So, good actions is the source of good karma. That is what the person thinks. But then you may have done many good actions. In fact, you are being very, very good every day. But then only bad things are happening. Not even one good thing is happening. What is the explanation for that? You are not in. Huh?
Previous Janma.
Yeah, previous Janma also, but still, at least now you are doing good actions. But still, not even one good thing is coming out of it. All the good things is going to the roommate. Okay, not to you. Yeah, nothing is happening to you. It's going to the neighbor, it's going to the roommate, it's going to your friend, who is no longer your friend, by the way, because of this. But then, but it's not coming to me. It's not coming to you. What is the reason for that? That shows that even though I think my good karma is the cause of good results, punya is handled by who? Brahman Ishvara. Brahman as Ishvara. That is why tasmat tat sukritam iti uchyate. That's why it is called sukritam. The source of punya, the honey pot of all punya is in whose hands? Ishvara. Who is sarvakaranatvat, same logic. Sarvakaranatvat, because it's the cause of everything. It is also the cause of what? Punya. Whose punya? Everyone's punya. So the punya pot is with Ishvara. Looks at your face, no, I don't feel like giving you this punya today. No, it is all part of the law. It is not dispensed like that. It is part of the law. When you will get what punya is dependent upon Ishvara. Brahman as Ishvara. Therefore, it is called Sukritam. Second reason. Now, do you know both the reasons? Is it clear? Yes? No? What's the first reason? Yeah, because it is an orderly universe. And secondly, because it is the source of all punya. In fact, the whole Jagat is punya. Punya bhumi. Karma kshetra. Kurukshetra. Dharma kshetra. That is what the Bhagavad Gita describes it as. So, therefore, it is all well done. It is an orderly universe where my own punya is also in the hand of Brahman. So, therefore, punya rupena tadeva brahma karanam sukritam, because it's the karana, the cause for all punya. Sarvatha apitu phala sambandha adi karanam sukrita shabda vachyam prasiddham loke. This is what I said earlier. Sarvatha means everywhere else. Prasiddha meaning in the world. The famous meaning, the well-known meaning of the word Sukruta is what? Punya. Why? Phala sambandhadi. Phala sambandha and phala prapti. Adipadat. Phala prapti also you have to take. So, the connection between phala and the karma, all this, you see, who is the one who joins your karma with your phala? It is Brahman. Therefore, it is the truth of the word Sukruta. And then Sukruta and sa prasiddhihi nitye chetanavat karane sati upapadyate tasmad asti brahma Sukruta prasiddhehe. One more reason has been given. We saw all the 7 reasons. This is one of the 7 reasons. Sukruta prasiddhi. Sukruta prasiddhatvat. Because so this proves the existence of Brahman, Asti Brahma. Why? Because it is the source of all punya. Karma phala dhata. Bhagavan is karma phala dhata, the giver of the results of the action, givers of the fruits of action. So therefore, it is Brahma. So if Brahman is not there, then you will not get the results of your action. And that's why Brahman must be there. So then further, itascha kutaha, furthermore, what else? Kutaha, why? Rasatvat. Kutaha rasatva prasidhihi brahmanah iti aha yadvai tat sukritam raso vai saha. And then here there is a gender bender. Gender bender means up till now everything was in neuter. Brahma, Sukritam, neuter. Brahma, neuter. Now suddenly what? Raso vai saha. Saha is masculine, not neuter. So suddenly it's the masculine, the neuter has turned into masculine. This happens all the time in the Upanishad. Again, this is a wake-up call because by this time the jiva, the sadhaka has kind of nodded off. Yeah, this is boring. Okay, what am I going to do? Learning all the meanings of Sukrita. Where am I going to use it? Why should I understand it? No problem. Let me just sleep. And then Tad Brahma now. Raso vai saha. Even the swara is like that. Raso vai saha. He was like, what? I thought you were talking neuter gender. Because see, in the olden days also people knew Sanskrit. And after Sanskrit study only this was come. They would come to this. Bhashya study cannot be done without a little smattering of Sanskrit. And so Raso vai, what are we doing here? But this is there in all the Upanishads. Many Upanishads you find it. So, Purushat na param kinchit Kathopanishad. There is nothing greater than the Purusha. Purusha is masculine, correct? The word Purusha. Purusha is not masculine, the word Purusha is masculine, grammatically. Purushat na param kinchit, nothing greater than Purusha. Then suddenly, sa kashtha, sa paragatihi. She is the foundation. She is the goal. How did he become she? To show it's all one. To show that we have in our minds, in our head, this gender as a ultimate category. It's very, very difficult to transcend. Very difficult to transcend. That's why all the sadhus' names end in Ananda, Ananda. So that one learns to overcome the gender. But there also, people, it's not very easy to do that. Yeah, and so therefore here the Tad Brahma became Saha, Raso vai Saha. Why? That Saha is Ananda, that's why. To bring in that Ananda, the word had to undergo a masculine change. Because the word Ananda is in masculine, Saha Anandaha Rasaha Vai. And what is this Ananda? Brahman is the Ananda. This is Brahman, which is Ananda Swarupa. And Ananda Swarupa, happiness, joy, limitlessness, is always centered in a conscious being. Can you say that this table is very happy right now, listening to Bhashya? No. Why? Because it is not telling me that. It doesn't have thoughts. Thank God. Thank God it doesn't have thoughts. It would say, I'm tired of just being a prop for the computer. I also have some desire to go. I want to become one with the forest. I'm off. It would go. But it doesn't do that. Why? Insentient. Brahman still, but insentient. Here we are talking of Ananda Swarupa. The Ananda Swarupa is always connected to sentience. This is also Satchidananda. This is also Satchidananda, but there is a difference. Why? Sukshma Sharira presence is there. The presence of the Sukshma Sharira makes it very, very clear. Makes it very, very clear. And so, this is what is pointed out here. Why this change has taken place? One is to connect it with Ananda, and then it says that Chetanavat. So, this Chetanavat Brahma, this Brahma which is sentient, it is the cause of everything. Therefore, it is called Raso vai Saha. And then further Adi Shankara says, Raso nama tripti hetuhu anandakaraha madhuramladi prasiddha loke. Rasonama, that which we call rasa, is tripti hetu. Tripti hetuhu means the cause of contentment. Rasa means contentment. And then what does he say? Anandakaraha, that which makes one happy from one's own swarupa. And then prasiddha loke, to give an example of what it might look like in the world, madhuramladi. Madhura means sweet. Amla means sour. That's why everybody loves sweet and sour. Chinese food full of sweet and sour sauce. And our own chaat. Chaat is what? Sweet and sour. Yeah, all mixture of tastes. The taste, the tongue must be having a party inside. That there is a party inside the mouth as soon as you put one golgappa. that pani puri mixed with some kinds of things. You put it in the mouth and the mouth has a party inside. There is a party inside the mouth because of the combination of the sweet and the sour taste. Maybe they knew this even in Adi Shankara's time. Maybe they used to have charts there then also, we don't know. But Adi Shankara writes, Madhura amladi. Like sweet and sour mixed taste. Not just mixed. That's one way of looking at it. You can also bring in other tastes. Some people like Karela. What is Karela? Yeah, you know what Karela. Okay. So, she likes. So it is bitter. Some people like that. And some people like that. Pujya Swamiji did not care for that. But then one day he went to somebody's house for lunch. And that lady had prepared Karela. And so Swamiji was very polite and ate it and appreciated her. And then the next month he came back again to the same town. And then that lady, everybody called. You have successfully hosted Swamiji for Bhiksha. What does he like? And she said, Karela. He did not care for Karela at all. But she said, please make Karela. So this other lady went and bought 3 kilos of Karela. And made Karela appetizer, Karela main dish, even Karela dessert, Karela kheer. She made everything from Karela, from start to finish. So he got to like it because whichever home he went, definitely there would be Karela because they thought he liked it. That's why they kept making it and he also grew to like it. So like this, some people like bitter, some people like sour, but here these two tastes are predominant because that sweet and sour does something. And khatta meetha, as they say. So here he's embodying that khatta meetha. There he talks about that taste. And then tripti hetuhu. Tripti hetuhu means the source of the contentment. And even rasa also has another meaning. Rasa means what is it called? 9 kinds of emotions in the play. We have 9 emotions, navarasas. And so there is, there is the longing. The rasa means the emotion of longing, where for example, the gopikas long for Krishna to come. There is that longing. And that yearning and longing is one rasa. There is a certain beauty in that. And there is a rasa of fulfillment, there is a rasa of sorrow, there is a rasa of anger, there is a rasa of bibhatsa, disgust, fear, disgust, all these are rasas. And this is there everywhere. We only have one extra rasa, Shanta rasa. That is only in the Indian dance and drama we will have Shanta rasa. In Shakespearean plays you don't have Shanta rasa. There is no Shanti there. Only in our culture, this Shanta rasa, this is all from the Natya Shastra, written long back, by Bharata, and that also is coming from the heart of the people who grew up and studied in this culture. They were all Vedantins, and this is what they produced. So this is all rasa. Rasa again means that which which completely compels you and puts you in the present. That is what it is. It's a source of enjoyment. And that source of enjoyment is you, is Brahman. Brahmatma is the only source of enjoyment. No other source of enjoyment can exist. This is what is called ultimate tripti hetuhu, and it is the source of all enjoyment. And then ayam labdhva prapya, having gained, what happens? Anandi sukhi bhavati. Gaining this alone, one becomes happy. This doesn't mean sweet and sour, khatta meetha. No, that was just an example. This meaning, this Brahmatma. Gaining this Brahmatma, one becomes happy. And that's why asat does not mean non-existence, because he said, na asataha ananda hetutvam drishtam loke. Nobody gets happiness by non-existent things. So therefore, Brahman is existent. Bahyananda sadhana rahitaha api anihaha nireshanaha brahmanaha bahya rasa labhad iva sanandaha drishyante vidvamsaha drishyante. The knowers of Brahman, who are they? Brahmanaha, Brahmani ramante, those who revel in Brahman. Brahmanaha, these people who are what? Anihaha. Iha means desire, the longing, Trishna, free of desire. Nireshanaha, free of all kinds of yearnings. And then Bahyananda sadhana rahitaha, free of dependence on any kind of thing in the world outside of themselves, dependency on something for their happiness. The ones who don't have, they are called vidvamsaha, and they are sanandaha, anandena saha vartante. So they are all happy without having anything, without pursuing anything. Nunam brahma eva rasaha tesham. So where do they get their happiness? Where do they get their juice, their rasa? From Brahman alone. Knowing themselves as Brahman alone, they get this, they get the rasa. And then what else? Tasmad asti tat tesham ananda karanam rasavad brahma. And then further we go to this part. Kohi eva anyat kaf pranyat yadi akashah anando nasyat. Akashah means Ishvara. If Ishvara was not Ananda, then there is no reason to live. There is no reason to live. To take away Ananda, Satchit is very boring. Yeah. Satchit is not enough. The Satchit happens to be Ananda, that's why it is meaningful. To take away Ananda, there is no reason to live. That is one way of looking at it. And the other way Adi Shankara talks about is more scholarly, and the scholarly way says that you take away Ananda and then you take away Brahmananda, you take away Ananda means what? If you take away Ananda, what else goes? Satchit also goes, because you cannot split them. Ek, do, teen, you cannot, it's all one. Satchidananda is one. So you take away Ananda, what is left? Nothing is left. If nothing is left, kaha hi eva anyat, who would be breathing? Breathing is what? Brahma. Brahmananda. Kaha hi eva pranyat, who would be inhaling? Who would be exhaling? Meaning, nobody would be inhaling or exhaling because nobody would be alive. This source of life, the source of the Jagat, is all what? Is all Brahman alone. This is what it shows. Iti pranadi kriya adarshanath. Ayamapi hi pindaha jivatah pranena praniti apanena apaniti iti. So between the Brahmanda, the cosmos, and the Pinda, the individual, what is the connection? This is the connection. The Vayu, which is in the form of that, which is the law of the universe, which goes, where does it go? Into the lungs of this individual and comes out. All that is what? Ananda. This is the source of the Ananda. More we'll see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Give that. Give that. Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya.